So, hey all. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a great Christmas. I'm actually about to lay it down, and before I lay it down, I was like, let's go ahead and talk about you. I hope you guys are doing well. We haven't, it's been a while since we've spoken. And like I said, the New Year's approaching and the full moon is coming up and just all this exciting tea. And I'm saying I want to talk about some things because, like I tell y'all, I'm always here, minding my business, staying in my lane. And, only, when I'm reached out to or spoken to, I speak back. You know what I mean? I don't do too much. I think that energy is something that should be conserved. And that's it. And so shout out to you all, and especially those of you who reach out to me for products and services, even though I'm not on YouTube. I do want to come because I do feel like some people, I do want to, start being on here regularly. Because of course, some people, out of sight, out of mind. But of course, the title of the video is debunk or not to debunk. Now, people are always sending me stuff that that they have questions about, and some of the stuff is, done and recorded by other spiritualists, and I'm just like, I don't really want to, touch on that or go over that because I don't want, it to make it seem like I'm in a combative state or I want to, check people. We kind of did that in the past, and what they say sometimes fiction is more entertaining than truth in fact. And so like I just say, hey, you want to know the truth, you come forward and reach out for the truth. If you don't want to know the truth, then, don't seek the truth and don't, ask about the truth. And so either way, something that's come up, and one of my people have asked to speak on it, and so I will. And I keep telling you, this is why I don't really, this is going to go to it. This is why I don't really care to get so into the online stuff. And what I mean by that is I don't want to make it to where online is my only space that I'm at, because then it becomes like you got to prove something, right? You got to, present things a certain way, come off a certain way. And this could be, ego, right? This could be something, with nurturing the ego and building the ego up. And of course, the spirit and the ego cannot live in the same space. And so because I take my spirituality, and I should say it in this perspective, I take my spiritual identity and spiritual expression seriously. I don't want to get caught up in the hype or the spiritual entertainment, right? And so I am going to just, speak on this, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, that's pretty late. It's about to be 2 a.m. And so someone asked me about predictions, right? And they were like, how do people go about predicting, right? And I always tell people that everything is about probability and possibility. And the goal of the spiritual reader, or the goals of those who give out the prediction, is to be able to cipher out, and this is, we're going to say spiritually, cipher out, what it is and what it ain't. Scientifically, and if you want to get into mundanely, if you want to say it that way, it comes down to probability and possibilities. So a lot of time when they're giving you their reading, a lot of times when they're having discussions with you, they're asking you questions for feedback because, in their mind, like, so for those who are not tapped in, those who are not actually getting messages from spirit, they're just kind of thinking of things or, giving out whatever it is they feel like they want to give out. they're basically assessing, like, okay, a woman this age from this part of the world or in this part of the world, more than likely, possibly, the probability of them having experiences, blah, 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 whatever. And that's what it comes down to. Something that I never understood, and I know what it is, but I just, from the mundane perspective, because like I said, we are just, talking. I never understood how people will be able to tap into other people, give other people insights and readings on their life. But when it comes down to their own, they don't know what, when, why, how, and if it's possible. And so a question I was asked, because, I feel like I'm beating around the bush. A question I was asked was, do I believe a particular person is authentic? Right. And I, like I said, I'm only addressing this because I feel like this person represents a lot of these so-called online readers, right? People who found a niche or a area where they were like, I can make money offering spiritual services. Let me hop on it. A particular person said that, I guess they give like predictions on things, and they mentioned that it would snow in a place that is never snowed at. And it was something else the person said. Hold on, let me pull up this email. A place that it never snowed before. Hold on. Okay. Yes. So they mentioned two things which I think are really kind of bland and open. I think when it comes down to predictions, and I've already said this before, I think that predictions could be quite vague, and I feel like they could be, kind of put out anyway, and then people can always come back. Like, that's predictions. Public predictions is the easiest way of convincing people that somebody's really gifted. And it comes off so vague that you can always patch up this prediction, right? Let's say, for a good example, they're like, what's going to happen, as the year's closing out or as the year's opening up? This so-called reader could just spew out anything and say, there's going to be an earthquake in America. And they'll just start going down a list of things. And everything on that list is not going to happen. But when something on that list do pop, they'll come out and say, yeah, I told you, I had it head on. I clocked it. I got it, whatever. So the same thing with this, okay? The reader said that there will be snow in unexpected areas. And they mentioned something about a site being hacked. No, excuse me. Crashing. Okay. Now, I want you guys to understand, or excuse me. Yeah, crashing or being sued. Now, the site was going to be crashing or being sued. I want y'all to understand how words could be used so loosely, and how it's important when you're speaking to certain people, or you speak about certain things that you're, you don't play the word game. I call it word magic. Because suing is a party or a person or an entity taking someone to court, for loss. Something happened, they want to get their money. Okay. And then, of course, going into crashing, it means that the site is not working properly, that there's crashes, there's a code that pop up, an error that pop up. These two words does not mean hacked. Crashing and suing is something totally different from being hacked. So this person predicted this, and allegedly they posted information stating that they were accurate with their readings because something was hacked. And according to this site that got hacked, they said they were not hacked. So, of course, trolls are going to troll. Of course, people are going to, take information and say what they want to say. and so forth and so forth. And then, of course, if that leads into a lawsuit, the person who predicted this did not say they were going to be suing. They're going to be sued by their customers for having their data leaked or their data hacked. It said they're going to be sued and or there were going to be a crash due to them having a video that, and I need to see this video too. That's what I'm really like curious, like who the hell is this person? Because I really need to see this video of them predicting and see, you know, when, what, why, and how. Because I'm like, honey, a lot of times, like I said, a lot of times people will say things loosely and they will try to say, I told y'all, I knew I was right, especially if this site has been sued before, especially if this site has had issues before. Most definitely, this person is not predicting anything. They're just giving a probability and a possibility on something happening to this person again, right? Or this site again. And like I said, I will get into, I'm going to, you know, get into, I don't know why I didn't think of that before I got in here with y'all to ask the person. Let me see this video and what the hell are they talking about? Secondly, about it snowing in places that it's never been. And I think this person said it was in Australia. Now, you guys, and you can look this up. This is public record. But this is like so important that American people learn about other cultures. American people step outside your comfort zone and learn other cultures, connect with other people. Australia has received snow. And in fact, they receive snow every year in different parts of Australia. Australia, okay, gets snow. That's not something outside the abnormal, right? That's not abnormal. So I'm not understanding how, to the person who sent this email, how that would even be a question if somebody is saying that, you know, it's going to snow in a place that's never snowed, and then they provided proof that it snowed in Australia. Like, yeah, Australia gets snow. Yeah, you may not know that if you're, you know, not into other cultures and other places and other people, but it does snow in Australia in different parts, okay? Every year. Like I said, I'm going to definitely look into going into seeing who, what video, you know, where they're speaking about what site, about crashing and all this good stuff, because I know that hacking is separate from crashing and crashing and being sued. Okay. And I told y'all this before. I've seen people so-called give predictions. That's why we don't really do that. But of course, you guys want to see Madam Merkaba or Mystic Persia give some type of prediction on 2026 and what companies, again, companies and places and things will be going on. I would gladly love to discuss that. But like I said, predictions can be so vague. You know, and even in the sense of, if you're going to say a site and Spirit gave you enough information to know that a site is going to be hacked or a site is going to have this and that, wouldn't Spirit give you the name of that? I think so. Okay. So, like I said, I don't know who and what this video or who this reader is. And if it is somebody I know and we don't like each other, girl, it is what it is. Someone asked that question I'm talking about. If it's somebody that I do not know and they may find, you know, this video, or maybe the person who sent me the video or the email to ask about this, we'll send it to them. At that point, like I said, I really don't care. You know, I want you guys to understand that there are a lot of fake, fraudulent people out there giving readings, offering services. They're not well equipped and are knowledgeable to do that type of things. They're not able to tap in. They couldn't sit here and give you a, and of course I learned what cold reading is, but to me a cold reading would be, I meet you and right off the bat I can tap into your energy. They're not able to do that. Some people need moments, they need times, they need seconds, they need, you know, they got to prep, they got to, you know, I'm hearing this, but I'm not too sure. And so, yeah, and honey, to debunk or not to debunk. Like I said, I always, you know, answer y'all questions and clarify things that does not seem right or does not make sense. Yes, honey, going into the new year, you guys, it'll be on the blog spot. I've been posting in the community. On New Year's Day, I will be having two openings available for readings, and the readings will be either via the text, you could do the email, or you could do live. Okay. And of course, live means we'll be on the phone talking. And of course, I'll post what that deal is. So we do have what, 2 more days, probably like 40 something hours. And yeah. So anyway, y'all, that's pretty much it, Yanni. Honey, I hope y'all had a great Christmas. I hope y'all are excited about this new year. And yes, honey, I'm gonna go get me some shut eye, honey. We got a very productive up and coming day, honey. Anyway, bye for now. Love and light.